for this video, we're going to focus on the most important thing in my opinion, which is sentences. They are the smallest part of a story other than words, and focusing on word choice is a much more difficult subject than just how to construct sentences in general. I'm not going to work on sentence tension as much as I'm going to be working on sentence structure and how to achieve holding on to your audience and not boring them silly by using the same sentences over and over again. So I'm going to read you a paragraph written by Gary Provost. It was featured in Roy Peter Clarke's Writing Tools. This sentence has 5 words. Here are 5 more words. 5-word sentences are fine, but several together become monotonous. Listen to what is happening. The writing is getting boring. The sound of it drones. It's like a stuck record. The ear demands some variety. Now listen. I vary the sentence length and I create music. Music. The writing sings, it has a pleasant rhythm, a lilt, a harmony. I use short sentences, and I use sentences of medium length. And sometimes, when I am certain the reader is rested, I will engage him with a sentence of considerable length, a sentence that burns with energy and builds with all the impetus of crescendo, the roll of the drums, the crash of the cymbals, sounds that say, listen to this. It is important. When you're building a paragraph or a story, although you use paragraphs to build stories, so you're going to be building paragraphs even if you're doing a story, you don't want a brick wall of sentences for your reader to just run into as they're trying to get through the prose. Varying sentence length is one of the best ways to hold on to your audience instead of having them tire from monotonous work or sentences that go on and on and on. It's just very tiresome and very hard to get through. Varying length not only adds a rhythm or poetry to the piece, it also engages your reader and makes it much easier to read in general. Sentence length isn't everything though. There's also different types of sentences and you need a variety of those. There's 3 types of sentences. Well, there's actually more if you consider declarative, imperative, explanatory, interrogative. But those are different sentences in a different sort of way, like if there's a tree goes over here, and we're talking about this one. So, 3 types of sentences. Simple, complex, compound. And I mean, you can go for if you're going to say complex, compound, but those are really just complex and compound combined, so whatever. Simple sentence, as suggested by the name, most basic there is. It is one independent clause. It can have prepositional phrases in it. It can have quite a long length, but it is still one independent clause and thus it is a simple sentence. The dog walked to the park. You could even just go, the dog walked, and leave out the prepositional phrase, but the dog walked to the park is fine. And like I said, you can expand on simple sentences to make them quite a bit long. You can have compound verbs, compound nouns. You just can't have 2 subjects with 2 verbs. So you can say the cat and the dog walked to the park, or the dog walked to the park and sat in the rain, or even the dog and the cat went to the park and sat in the rain. However, as soon as you have the dog and the cat went to the park and they sat in the rain, you have a compound sentence instead of a simple sentence because you're using conjunction. So compound sentences are 2 independent phrases linked with said conjunction. An independent phrase is any simple sentence like we just explained. So you need 2 of them, and then you need the word in the middle and a comma to make everything mesh together. The conjunctions are and, but, or, yet, so, for, and nor. It's a really easy way to remember them because they rhyme. There are other ways to remember them, but that's the way I do it. Like I was talking about before with the word choice, Conjunctions is a really good place to illustrate how the change of one word can change the feeling of an entire sentence. For example, the dog walked to the park, so the cat played outside, is very different than the dog went to the park, yet the cat played outside. In the first one, you use so as if the dog going to the park is a good reason for the cat being outside. And in the second one, you use yet, which brings a more angsty feeling, as if something might happen to this cat because it's playing outside while the dog is out as well. You don't always need to use a conjunction and a comma in order to link two independent phrases. Independent clauses. You can also use a semicolon. The Oatmeal does a wonderful poster on the uses of a semicolon, and I would check them out if you are interested in that.